Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you very much for joining us today. We'd like to seek the blessings of Radha Madhav, Radha Shyam Sundar, Krishna Balaram, Bonitai, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, the assembled devotees, so that we can continue with our series on Devatas. And today we've looked at Brahma and Lord Shiva, and today we're looking at Durgamata. So this is the form of Durga that we see in this material world. 10 arms with different weapons on a throne. And her carrier, the lion. So who is she? Well, in the spiritual world, there are three potencies. There's the Samvit energy, which is the internal energy of the Lord. It helps with the residents, of the spiritual world to recognize their relationship with Krishna. Sandhini ensures variegatedness in the spiritual world. And then there's the Hladini Shakti. And the Hladini Shakti is actually the internal energy. Functions as the internal potency of the Lord and provides ultimate pleasure to Krishna. Srimati Radharani is Hladini potency. She is the source of all pleasure. And Durga is an expansion of this spiritual potency. So, the name Durga refers also to that personality who is thus on the platform of Shuddha Tattva, Sattva, pure transcendental consciousness, existence. This internal potency is also understood to be Krishna's sister, known as Namsh or Subhadra. This is the Durga who is worshipped by the gopis in Vrindavan. So the expansion of Srimati Radharani is Durga, not the Durga that we see in this material world. Not this one. This Durga is an expansion of the Durga in the spiritual world. And the Durga in the spiritual world is an expansion of Radharani. And the Durga in the spiritual world is also known as Subhadra. So when Krishna came to this world, Subhadra also appeared. And then she flew into the sky when she was handled by Kams. Several acharyas have pointed out that ordinary people are sometimes bewildered, thinking that the names Mahamaya and Durga refer exclusively to the external energy potency of the Lord. The entire creation has two divisions, transcendental or spiritual and material. Yogamaya manages the spiritual world. And by her partial expansion as Mahamaya, she manages the material world. So there's two types of mayas. One is Yogamaya and one is Mahamaya. Yogamaya is the personal potency of Lord Krishna's energy. And Mahamaya expands from this personal energy. And that's the source of reference is Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th chapter, 16th verse. So 4th canto, 16th chapter, 2nd verse. So what is the roles of Yogamaya and Mahamaya? So let's have a look. Yogamaya is the name of the internal potency that makes the Lord himself forget. So the Lord forgets himself, behaves like a small child or a lover or a friend. To become an object of love for his pure devotee in different transcendental mellows. So the Yogamaya also impacts those who serve Krishna so that they forget he's the Supreme Lord. Creates a spiritual sentiment in the minds of the damsels of Braj by which they think of Krishna as their paramour, as their lover. Any pastime conducted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead is an arrangement by Yogamaya, not Mahamaya. So this is interesting. So in the spiritual world, Yogamaya takes charge. Yogamaya is different from Mahamaya. Mahamaya is the illusion that we are under. But Yogamaya is the illusion created by Krishna himself so that he can have a relationship with his devotees. Yogamaya is permanent, not like Mahamaya, which is temporary. She bestows on Lord Krishna devotees, pure devotional service to Krishna. She is Vaishnavi Shakti of the Vaishnavas. She gives final liberation to those that want such and give happiness to those who want happiness. Ladini potency transforms into the personality of goddess Durga, in the spiritual world, in this material world. So from the Durga in the spiritual world, we get the Durga in the material world. Here, she has a responsibility of reforming those souls who have rebelled against the laws of spiritual land and have come to this material world. So let's see her role. She drags a person from the Supreme Lord, and is called Mahamaya, and the Maya, which acts on the transcendental form, is Yogamaya. Mahamaya means external potency of the Lord, which puts a conditioned soul into illusion that he is happy by material attachments, adjustments. So this is where we are. We're thinking that, yes, Krishna, all I want is this and I'll be happy. Something material. This is Krishna's exhibition of Maya, but it is temporary. Hence, here it is a perverted reflection. It is not possible for Mahamaya to control liberated souls or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Yogamaya can. Yeah, Yogamaya is Srimati Radharani, Ladini Shakti. This world, which we call wonderful and delight to live in, is compared to a prison. Here, life is uncertain, misery is inevitable, relationship is temporary, and death is certain. As prisoners are given a uniform, similarly, we have been given a uniform of human body, animal body, plant body, etc. And as long as we have this temporary body made of flesh, bones, mucus, blood, etc., and then we are in the material world under the jurisdiction of Durga Devi. That's the form that we saw first, 10-handed. She, on behalf of the Supreme Lord, takes complete charge of this material world. She acts under the direction of the Supreme Lord. This is a shadow follows the substance. So we have Lord Vishnu, Karnadaksha Vishnu, his eternal consort Rama Devi. And Rama Devi is a source of Maya. And we have Shambhu, Lord Shiva.
Prabhuji?
Yes. Anyway.
Yes. This Maya Devi, Durgamata, it's not what we see in this material world?
Yes, this is the one we see in this material world.
So she is the one who controls us.
She's the one who is the gatehouse keeper of this prison house.
And she's the one who is sort of like the reins which control modes of passion, ignorance, and the goodness.
Yeah.
She's the one who is sort of pulling them and making us.
Yes, on behalf of the Lord.
On behalf of the Lord.
Yeah. She would be given that strength because she's the one who tests us,
Yes.
If we want to go to Krishna, she'll be the one testing. Okay, what sort of devotee are you? So yes, she's also has some control over the three modes of material nature.
So she's the same as you showed us the picture before.
Yeah, that's right.
And Yogamaya is different, yeah.
Yogamaya is different. Yogamaya is effectively Rama Devi.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, she's known as Shubhadra. Many names given to her. Krishna's sister.
And Radha as well.
Yeah, but Radha is actually the source of Yogamaya. She's the source of Lakshmi Devi, Rama Devi. So she's Ladini Shakti. She's internal energy, extremely close to Krishna. And her expansions are Yogamaya, Subhadra, Ramadevi, the gopis, the queens of Vrindavan, they all come from Radharani.
Okay.
And they, of course, all are in the spiritual world. And then in this material world is manifested Durgamata, who is expansion of the spiritual Durgamata, spiritual Subhadra.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
So there are lots of Matajis in this, goddesses in this our material world. So Durga Devi occupies quite a high position then.
Extremely,
Yeah.
extremely high position.
Like Amba Mataji and Bauchra Mataji. So she is at higher position.
She's higher than?
You know that other goddesses are called Amba Ma, Bauchraji Ma.
Yeah. So she would be the source of them. She's very, very powerful.
Okay.
Saraswati, even it says Lakshmi Devi is expansion of Durgamata, which I think it's the Lakshmi Devi who is in this world, because the original Lakshmi Devi is Ramadevi. So, but even Parvati is regarded to be an expansion.
Parvati, yes. Okay.
Quite interesting. Quite interesting. Yeah, she's very powerful position, extremely powerful.
Okay.
And also we have, like Saraswati, Gayatri, Savitri, they're all very powerful personalities. And we'll go through them one by one, hopefully. Shiva's female consort is known under various names: Uma, Sati, Parvati, Durga, Kali, Shakti. The divine couple, together with their sons, the six-headed Skanda, that's Kartikeya, and the elephant-headed Ganesh, are inhabiting the Mount Kailash in the Himalayas, as well as the Mahesh Dham on the border of the material world, Devi Dham, and the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, Haridham. So this picture is very interesting, actually, because here we see this, the material world is, crosses half of Shivlok, basically, Mahakal Dham. And this part of Shivlok, Sadashivalok, is in the spiritual world. So it's interesting how this planet is split into half. Half is here in the material world, the other half is in the spiritual world. Very difficult to comprehend that, but that's what the scriptures say. Shiva is the original material male. Durga is the original material female. So this is the Adam and Eve. Durga is the expansion of Yogamaya, and ultimately of Radharani. Durga is an eternal associate of the Lord in the spiritual world. In this world, the goddess Durga, the wife of Lord Shiva, is famous as the external illusionary potency of the Lord. This is the Durga worshipped by the people of this mundane world. But the spiritual Durga is the eternal maidservant of Krishna and is therefore the transcendental reality whose shadow, the Durga of this world, functions in this mundane world as her maidservant. So the Durga here is simply an expansion of the spiritual Durga. Ganesh, Durga, Vikshvaksena, and other devas worship and serve the Supreme Personality of God in these abode of Vaikuntha. The Ganesh, Durga, and other devas mentioned here are different from the Ganesh, Durga, and other devas present in the material world. They're different, but they're expansions. The ones in the spiritual world are Vishnu Tattva, on the same level as Vishnu. And then when they expand here, they give power to some jiva, some ordinary soul. The form of Durga, what does she look like? The presiding deity of this eternal material existence. She is 10-armed, representing the tenfold fruitive activities. She rides on the lion, sometimes a tiger, representing her heroic prowess. She tramples down Mahisasura, representing the subduer of spices. She's the mother of two sons, Kartikeya and Ganesh, representing beauty. Kartikeya is regarded to be extremely beautiful, and success. Thank you, Nariman. She's placed between Lakshmi and Saraswati, representing mundane opulence, mundane knowledge. She's armed with 20 weapons, representing the various pious activities enjoined by the Vedas for suppression of vice. She holds a snake representing the beauty of destructive time. She's worshipped for wealth. People in general worship Durga, the wife of Shiva, for material prosperity. However, the boons received from Durga in the shape of wealth, property, good health, wife and sons should be understood as a deluding kindness of Durga. Durga's service is to keep conditioned souls within the material world, as she is the prison gate housekeeper. And this is the confirmation in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Brahma Samhita.
Shriste Stitri Palaya Sadhana Saktireka Chaye Vayasha Bhuvanani Vibhati Durga Ichana Rupam Apiyasha Chakesatesha Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Translation: the external potency Maya, who is of the nature of the shadow of the Chit potency, is worshipped by all people as Durga, the creating, preserving, and destroying agency of this mundane world. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, in accordance with whose will Durga conducts herself.
However, when the soul again remembers Govinda by coming in contact with self-realized souls, Durga herself then becomes the agency of their deliverance by the will of Govinda. So she can be trapping us here, or she can also help us go to Govinda, depending on our desires and our mood. The word Durg means fortress, something difficult to defeat or pass. Durga is derived from the root dur, difficult, and gam, pass, go through. Other meanings may include the one who cannot be accessed easily and the undefeatable goddess. One famous sloka states the definition and origin of the term Durga. Durge Durgati Nashini, meaning Durga is the one who destroys all distress or one who eliminates suffering. So she has multifunction. There are many names for Durga in Shaktiism. Shakti means one who worships Durga as the supreme. So there are many names. And Navadurga are known as Shailiputri, Brahmacharini, Chandragantha, Kushmanda, Skandamata, Katyayini, Kalratri, Mahagauri, Siddhidatri. A list of 108 names of the goddess is recited in order to worship her, and she's popularly known as Ashtastata Namwali of Goddess Durga. Durga is associated with protection, strength, motherhood, destruction, and wars. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, she is a warrior, powerful and much worshipped form of Goddess Parvati or Adi Shakti. Her legend centers around combating evils and demoniac forces that threaten peace, prosperity, and dharma. The power of Durga. Durga unleashes her divine wrath against the wicked for the liberation of the oppressed, entails destruction to empower creation. She's seen as a motherly figure, depicted as a beautiful woman. All illusion is created by Mahamaya. She is the stage developer behind the false enjoyment of a living being and his miseries due to his sense gratification. But this aspect is not seen in Yogamaya. So it's completely, Yogamaya is completely different. Yogamaya's mood is, how can we make Krishna enjoy? Mahamaya's mood is, how do we keep these souls away from Krishna? When a devotee, while practicing devotion to Lord Krishna, initially is disturbed by Mahamaya, until all his desires of sense enjoyment are not burnt away, Krishna himself instructs Yogamaya to seek Mahamaya, to remove her illusionary energy from the devotee so that there is no further obstacle in his or her path. So this is quite interesting. In the spiritual world, Yoga Maya covers the pure liberated souls with her power in the Leela, with her power of illusion, such that they are unaware of Krishna's real nature and thus relate to him not as God, but as a friend, lover, child, and so on. If Yoga Maya will not extend her illusion in this way, the souls would realize Krishna's real nature and be incapable of interacting with him in Leela, in intimate ways. Yoga Maya's illusory energy is a highly desirable and positive one, obtained by the highest yogis and perfect devotees. So one of the things Durgamata here is famous for is this destruction of Mahish Asura. And Mahishasura was a half buffalo demon who did penance, severe penance, in order to please Brahma, the creator. After several years, Brahma, pleased with his devotion, appeared before him. The demon opened his eyes and he asked the god for immortality. Brahma refused, stating that all must die one day. Mahishasura then thought for a while and asked a boon that only a woman will be able to kill him, because he was thinking he's stronger than any woman. Brahma granted the boon and disappeared. Mahishasura started to torture innocent people. He captured heaven and was not in any kind of fear, as he thought women to be powerless and weak. The Devas were worried. They went to Trimurti, that's Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and they all combined together their power and created a woman warrior with many arms. The Devas gave her a copy of their weapons. Himavan, the lord of Himalayas, gifted a lion as a mount. Durga on a lion reached before Mahishasura's palace, and he took on many different forms, attacking her. Each time Durga would destroy his forms. At last, Durga slayed Mahishasura when he was transformed as a buffalo. So this is one of her famous pastimes. Durga is the inspiration, the inspiration of Durga Puja, a large annual festival, particularly in eastern and northeastern states of Bharat. So in Bengal, this is very famous, Durga Puja. One of the devotees of her form as Kali was Sri Ramakrishna, who is the guru of the Swami, who is guru of Swami Vivekananda. He is the founder of the Ramakrishna mission. Durga as the mother goddess is the inspiration behind the song Vande Mataram, written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee during Indian independence movement, later the official national song of Bharat. Durga is present in Indian nationalism, where Bharat Mata is viewed as a form of Durga. This is completely in line with ancient ideology of Durga as mother and protector of Bharat. Bharatiya. She's present in pop culture and blockbuster Hollywood movies like Jai Santoshiba. And even the Indian army uses phrases like Durga Mata ki Jai, Kali Mata ki Jai. Any woman who takes up a cause to fight for goodness and justice is said to have the spirit of Durga in her. So this is the festival we were just talking about. It's generally in the eastern part of Bharat. And as per the Markandeya Puran, the Durga Puja can be performed for either 9 days or 4 days, the last 4 days in sequence. The 4-day-long Durga Puja is a major annual festival in the eastern states in Bharat. It is scheduled per the lunar solar calendar in the month of Ashwina, typically falling in September, October. Since it is celebrated during Shraddha, it is also called Sharidya Durga Puja or Akal Bodhan, to differentiate it from one celebrated originally in spring. The festival is celebrated by communities by making...
So Sharad.
Oh, sorry, Sharad. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
It's different.
Good point. By making special colorful images of Durga out of clay, recitations of Devi Mahatmya texts, prayers for 9 days, after which it is taken out in procession with singing and dancing and then immersed in water. The Durga Puja is an occasion of major private and public festivities in the eastern and northern eastern states of Bharat. The day of Durga's victory is celebrated as Vijay Dashami, Vijoya in Bengali. And we have a Bengali devotee with us today. Mr. Saha, I think he's here. Is he here?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So you used to celebrate Durga Puja?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. And is this accurate, what I'm reading?
Yeah, exactly. It's very nice explanation.
Thank you.
Very accurate.
Thank you. The same.
And regarding the Makali also.
Yeah. These words literally mean the victory on the 10th day. How to please Durga Devi during Durga Puja. So Chandidas, this is a really nice pastime, was a devoted worshipper of Durga. While his brother was a pure Vaishnava who would worship Shaligram, Chandidas was rich, but his brother was poor. Chandidas had a big and beautiful garden. He used to offer the flowers from the garden to Durga Devi. His brother too desired to offer these beautiful flowers to his Shaligram. So once he mentally offered a beautiful and colorful flower of the garden to his Shaligram. It so happened on that day, Chandidas offered the same flower, but in physical form, right? One offered it mentally, the other offered the physical flower to Durgamata. As soon as the flower was offered, Durga Devi appeared in front of Chandidas. I am extremely pleased with you, Chandidas. What benediction do you want? And Chandidas was amazed. How come? What happened? You never come. I worship you daily. But why are you so pleased with me today? It is because you have offered me the flower which has been offered to Shaligram, Lord Mahapashad. By seeing that Pashad flower, I became pleased, so I appeared before you. So this shows how we can please Durgamata by serving her boss, Krishna, or Shaligram. Vidas immediately inquired, is it that you get pleased when one worships the Supreme Lord Krishna? Durga in a compassionate voice said, yes, Supreme Lord is cause of all causes. He is the original source of all creation. I get extremely pleased when anyone worships the Supreme Lord Krishna. So if you want to please me, worship the Supreme Lord Krishna. Chandidas understood the ultimate truth. He became a great devotee of Krishna, and this pleased Goddess Durga, the consort of Lord Shiva. Chandidas later composed many songs in which he describes the transcendental feelings of separation of Shrimati, Radharani, and Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would love to hear the composition of Chandidas. Let's see if there are any KK songs. Durga tests our dedication to the Supreme Lord. She checks if our heart has been thoroughly purified of all material existence, diseases, such as lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion, false ego. And when she finds that our heart has developed deep love for Krishna, immediately she releases us from this prison house. Thus, as soon as one starts practicing loving devotional service to Krishna, Goddess Durga is delighted. And she immediately withdraws her trident and showers her love. She doesn't want to imprison us in this material world forever. Those who are imprisoned, she wants to release them as soon as possible. So actually, she's a great devotee of the Lord. It is explained that in this age of Kali Yuga, the Supreme Lord incarnates with all his powers and all his opulence in the sound vibration of the holy name. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. So the best way to practice devotional life is by chanting the holy names of Krishna, like the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We should chant this mantra with love and with devotion and with determination. Goddess Durga, the guardian of this world, will assess our dedication and our intention regularly. She even tested Haridas Thakur's devotion to Krishna. Haridas Thakur passed the test with flying colors because he used to be completely absorbed in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In fact, he had taken a vow to chant the mantra 3 lakh times a day. If we too want to please Mother Durga, then we have to become serious in our devotion to Krishna. Durga Puja is not about playing movie songs and dancing on those songs. It is not about eating delicious foods and having fun. The best way to celebrate Durga Puja is to understand who Goddess Durga is and how she could be pleased. And the best way to please her is to follow the footsteps of Chandidas. Durgamata ki jai. So, any questions, any comments? Okay, Durgamata ki jai. Yeah.